This is the all-new and recently refreshed American Express Platinum. And sadly, over 90% of people with this card are using it completely wrong. And I'm not just talking about the IG influencer flexing with the Platinum. Those people are forever helpless and they're always gonna lose money with this card. Instead, I'm talking about everyday Americans that are making these common 13 mistakes with their American Express Platinum that are costing them anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars in losses every single year. So, join me today as I review for you these 13 most common mistakes that everyone makes with their American Express Platinum. And more importantly, I'm gonna show you how you can turn these mistakes and flip them from losses into big wins to get maximum value from this $895 a year card. And personally, mistake number 7, or I guess win number 7, is my favorite. Mistake number 1, getting the American Express Platinum before you get the American Express Gold. This one sounds weird, but has to do with a technicality in the terms and conditions for the American Express Gold, which basically states if you have gotten American Express Platinum and its bonus, you are ineligible to ever get the American Express Gold sign-up bonus. And that's really important because in this whole credit card ecosystem, it's all about the sign-up bonuses. And on top of that, if you just got the American Express Gold first with the bonus, you can still get the Platinum and its bonus. So just be aware of that. You want to get the Gold before the Platinum, especially important right now because both of those cards are giving, honestly, in what I see as all-time high elevated offers. The issue though is that they're non-public. So here's what I mean by that. Right now, the American Express Gold has a bonus of, I think it's publicly available, where you'll get like 60,000 points after you spend $6,000 in 6 months. Cool. However, there's actually an elevated offer that's going as high as 100,000 points for the same amount of spend. The issue though is that offer is non-public, so you do have to go and try to find a working link. And on the American Express Platinum side, similarly, there's a public offer that's giving everyone like 80,000 points or something for $8,000 to spend in 6 months. But there's a way more elevated offer going as high as 175,000 points for the same amount of spend. So obviously you want to jump on the elevated offer. The problem though with both of these elevated offers is that they're kind of non-public, so you have to find a working link. Now thankfully, since you follow me, I actually do have a working link to both of these way more elevated non-public offers in the description box down below, so go ahead and check it out. And so I hope you can see by jumping on the Gold first and then the Platinum, you're basically ensuring you get at least a shot at getting as high as 100,000 points first and then going for the Platinum, versus if you just got the Platinum, you're just never gonna be able to get a bonus from the Gold card ever. Mistake number 2, using the $300 Lululemon credit wrong. So right now, with the new American Express Platinum, you get a $300 Lululemon credit. That comes out as $75 per quarter. Cool. Now, the problem though is some people are like, well, I'd rather just have $300 to spend at one time. 75 is kind of annoying. Is there anything I can do about it? My first hypothesis was maybe you could just use your credit to buy gift cards, because with the American Express Gold, with the Dunkin' Donuts credit, you just use the credit to buy Dunkin' gift cards and you kind of load it up. Now, I thought similarly with the Lululemon credit. However, it actually points out in the terms and conditions that gift cards are ineligible to qualify for this credit. Now, it remains to be seen, it's still early days, but the other workaround is getting a Lululemon store credit. So, one way in which this could work right now is Lululemon has their "we made too much" sales. And those items are actually ineligible to be returned. In fact, if you bought from Lululemon "we made too much," the only thing you get is a store credit. So wait a minute. So then what if you used your American Express Platinum, you bought the Lululemon, you get the $75 credit from American Express Platinum, and then if it's from the "we made too much" sale, when you go back in store, let's say it doesn't fit or whatever, wouldn't it just kick you a store credit? Ah, interesting. Now, the only thing you want to keep in mind is you need to have a Lululemon account so that they can credit the store credit to, but obviously make the account. And so if I kind of pull on that string a little bit, if you could get a store credit for the "we made too much" offerings, what about other offerings? Now folks, this is the point in the whole credit card ecosystem where we are trying to get a little bit creative in how we can maximize value from these points. And it's not like this goes against any term and condition. You bought an item and you return the item, but instead of just, refunding it, you just go ahead and get store credit. Is it annoying to have to do that? Sure. But at the end of the day, there are no free handouts. There's no such thing as a free lunch. If you want to extract maximum value, you are gonna have to do a little bit more of a legwork. Mistake number 3, thinking you don't qualify for the American Express trifecta. So the American Express trifecta is this concept in which you have 3 cards from American Express that you're trying to use to optimize all of your spend so you can get the maximum amount of American Express membership reward points. And the 3 cards that people typically get are the American Express Platinum, the American Express Gold, and the American Express Blue Business Plus. The mistake a lot of people make is thinking that they don't qualify for an American Express business credit card because they don't run a corporation. They don't have an LLC with 20 employees. They don't have a business that's doing millions of dollars in revenue. The thing is, if you have some sort of side hustle that you've started with the intent to generate revenue, that is an eligible business to apply for the Blue Business Plus so that you can jump on the American Express trifecta. And when you have the American Express trifecta, the way you use it is the American Express Platinum is kind of the travel card, getting you into the lounges, but also earning the elevated 5x for the airfare that you book direct or through Amex travel, as well as the prepaid hotels. Then the gold is kind of the eating card, so you get the 4x with the groceries and the 4x with the supermarkets. And then the Blue Business Plus is kind of the 2x catch-all for all other spend. And for a lot of people, me included, where I spend the most money is probably traveling and then eating. And then if I don't know where to put something else, 2x catch-all all day, I'm there. So don't make the mistake thinking that you don't qualify for the Blue Business Plus simply because you don't have a 1,000-person corporation where you are just mowing lawns every weekend and you're paying taxes on the money that you collect. You have a small business, you can apply for a business card. Or let's say you do a little bit of consulting on the side. You've got a business, you can apply for this business card. And you don't need to go and get an EIN or any of that. You can literally just use your social security number as the EIN and apply as a sole proprietor. Mistake number 4, you're leaving your $600 hotel credit on the table. This is a new credit that American Express just added to the Platinum card, where you're gonna get $300 in the first half of the year and $300 in the second half of the year. And this is applicable to hotels that fall either in collection or into fine hotels and resorts. Thing is, honestly, for the past 3-4 years I've had the American Express Platinum, I've forgotten about this credit because it was only $200. And so some years I remember, other years honestly just didn't. But with $300 first half, second half, that's just honestly way more value to actually capture some of these hotels because honestly, they're not cheap. In addition, with fine hotels and resorts and collection hotels, both of these actually will offer you, I believe it's a $100 stay credit. So basically you check into the hotel and there's a $100, kind of think of it as an on-premise credit that you can use for various things, which is awesome. That has nothing to do though with the hotel credit, which is just gonna be $300 you can just knock off of your stay. So take advantage of that. Mistake number 5, redeeming your American Express points for cashback. Oh my God, this one hurts me so much. Folks, cashback is great. I love cashback. The American Express cards though are not to be thought of as cashback cards. These are points earning cards that you then go transfer out, you get a ton of value. We'll talk about it in a little later section. But when you redeem your points for cashback, you are literally getting 60% of its value. And what I mean by that is when you have a pure cashback credit card, let's say a Chase Freedom Unlimited, having 10,000 points means you get a $100 in cashback. We love that. When you have an American Express Platinum and you redeem your 10,000 points for cashback, you're only gonna get $60. Makes no sense, don't do it, would not recommend. Please, 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 if you have friends that are doing it, just warn them. Do not redeem your American Express membership reward points on the American Express Platinum for a cashback. Mistake number 6, not combining your Uber credits onto one account to get way more bang for buck. So this is something I learned in the last 2-3 years, where you could basically take your American Express Platinum and let's say your partner's American Express Platinum and put it onto one Uber account. And so instead of just getting $15 in Uber credit every month, it's $30. In addition, it doesn't obviously just work for Uber rides, it's also Uber Eats, which I think is way more valuable. And here's another pro tip, it's not just the American Express Platinum, the American Express Gold also gets Uber credit. So in theory, you could stack all of your golds and platinums onto one account, and so every single month, you get much larger spend one time versus a little bit here, a little bit there. Don't sleep on that. And a bonus I'll tack on to this right now is the American Express Platinum is also giving you, in addition to the $200 Uber credit, there's a $120 credit to Uber One. Those are separate, and be sure to take advantage of that Uber One credit because you're gonna get lower delivery fees and as well as extra earnings on Uber. Mistake number 7, and remember this one is my favorite, not taking advantage of the American Express Platinum's return protection. This honestly is probably the best credit card insurance policy for shopping, period, hands down. Here's how it works. You go and buy an item. And let's say you get it and you don't like it. And let's say it's Apple AirPod Pros. You're like, I don't really like it. You go back to Apple and you want to return it. However, it's been 45 days and Apple's like, yeah, no kid, we're not going to take this back because it's past our return policy. So you must think, shucks, I'm stuck with this, I'm screwed. But then you remember, oh wait, I actually bought this with my American Express Platinum and it gives me return protection. And return protection says is if you purchase an item and within 90 days of purchase, you go and return the item and the retailer doesn't take the item back, you can file a claim for up to $300 and will cover you. Excuse me? Like, wait, what? So Apple says no, but then I just go to American Express and say, hey, Apple didn't want it. Can I just return this to you, quote unquote? Not really return, but more like a insurance file that you do. And yes, the answer is yes. And you can file for a max of $1,000 of claims in a calendar year. This by far has saved my skin so many times, especially with electronics, like places from Best Buy, Micro Center, and Apple actually, where it's a really restricted return policy. And you're like, oh shoot, it's been over 2 weeks. Damn it. And then it's like, oh wait, I put it on my Platinum. Don't sleep on this, all right, folks? Put like purchases that you're unsure of or put purchases where you're like, oh, this return protection kind of sucks from the actual retailer, put it on the Platinum. And if it doesn't work, file a claim. And honestly, because American Express is both the issuing bank and then they also do the insurance bit, it is like that in terms of how quickly they respond, at least in my experience. Mistake number 8, going to a Resy restaurant and not using your American Express Platinum. Why? Because the new American Express Platinum gives you a $400 Resy credit that comes as $100 every single quarter. So quite literally, you go to a restaurant that you can find on Resy, you pay with your American Express Platinum, and you get a $100 credit automatically. So don't make the mistake of going to a Resy restaurant and using a non-American Express Platinum card, unless you've already used the credit, then you're good. But otherwise though, use your American Express Platinum, get that $100 credit every single quarter. Mistake number 9, not using transfer partners. Folks, in the points and miles game, this is where you are going to get the most bang for buck. This is where you can do things that you probably have seen me do, which is fly in the front of the plane for pennies on the dollar. Like I am talking about getting flights, business class flights, for 80, 90, 98% discounts. It's all by way of using transfer partners. And the concept is very simple. All you do is take the points that you have on the American Express side, and then you transfer them to a hotel or an airline partner. And then once you have the points there, then you can use their reward chart to figure out, okay, where are kind of the sweet spots that I want to book? And typically it's going to be for long haul business class flights. Now you can get some value in economy. Maybe you're a big family going to Disney, you want to save on some flights. Cool. But do not overlook the fact that you have transferable currencies. As an example, I got married in Bali in August, and so many of my friends ended up actually just redeeming their points through the travel portal. Don't do that. Horrible value for your points. Instead, you could book the same flight by first taking your points, transferring it to the airline, and then booking through the airline. Hopefully that makes sense. Like one of my best man, not one of, my best man at my wedding, he was looking at tickets that were gonna cost him, I think it was like over 500,000 American Express points, and it was economy. But that was because he was using the travel portal and he was just gonna book through there. Instead, we found out, oh, if he took his points and transferred it out, I believe it was to Qatar and another program, he could do the entire booking for less than, it was 180,000 or 170,000. Forget the specifics. But again, it was pretty much the exact same flights. He just did a different mechanism. So do not sleep and don't make the mistake of not using transfer partners. Mistake number 10, not using the $200 airline incidental credit. This one might seem obvious because you think, well, airline incidental credit, it's the checked bag fees, it's the seat selection, I don't really use that, so what do you mean I'm not using it? Thing is, you can actually turn that from an airline incidental credit into the equivalent of a flight credit. And how you do that is through United. So you basically just go ahead, and this is what I've seen on the forums, where you basically pick United as your preferred airline, and then you go to the United Mileage Bank and you go and buy a $100 flight credit from the Mileage Bank. In the system from the American Express side, it should show, at least this is what I've seen online, where it shows that it's registered as an incidental, and so you've now converted the incidental in $100 increments from incidental to flight credit, and then you can use your flight credit to basically purchase airfare. Again, this is one that I've seen online on like the Flyer Talks and Reddits of the world. Mistake number 11, not using Lufthansa business class lounges for free. This one is one I don't think a lot of people know about because with the American Express Platinum, you get access to so many lounges. Centurion lounges, Delta lounges, Plaza Premium lounges, Priority Pass lounges. Well, Lufthansa is also one of them, and with Lufthansa, If you're flying in economy and you have the American Express Platinum, you can use the Lufthansa business class lounges. So don't sleep on this, don't overlook this. This happened to me once actually. I was flying out and I didn't realize until after. I was like, oh crap, I was in economy, but I could have actually gone to the business class lounge all because of having the American Express Platinum and flying on Lufthansa. Sorry, quick correction. I said Lufthansa as if that's the airline. It's actually Lufthansa Group, which encompasses the Lufthansa airline as well as Swiss and Austrian. So you've got 3 airlines. If you're flying with them and you have American Express Platinum, you are eligible to get into those Lufthansa lounges. Mistake number 12, not activating your complimentary elite status with Marriott as well as Hilton. Specifically, you get gold status with both of them. Some might argue it's not that valuable in the US, which I would agree. However, in Europe and Asia, having just a little bit amount of status, people recognize that. So go ahead and activate it. It's 100% free to you. It doesn't cost you anything, and you show up and you might get a complimentary upgrade or a late checkout or a late check-in. So don't sleep on that. Mistake 13, paying the full $895 annual fee. This one might sound obvious and you're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? Folks, if you are just paying $895 for this credit card and you're getting nothing back, you are doing it so wrong. With the brand new refreshed American Express Platinum, you could easily be getting paid effectively $900 plus to have the card, because you've got a new $600 hotel credit, you've got the $400 Resy credit, you've got an elevated $300 digital entertainment credit, you still have your $200 Uber credit, you've got the $300 Lululemon credit, heck, you even have a $200 credit to Oura Ring. These credits are incredibly valuable, but you have to know to come in and use them. And the way American Express makes money is that, well, some people don't actually use them and they then end up paying full fare for the card. Now, that's actually good for you and I because by them paying, we get more benefits, but you could also just not be one of those people and make sure you come in and take advantage of it. And some folks I understand are like really annoyed by the fact that you have to do so much, but I'm gonna shoot it to you straight because I used to be one of those people and now I kind of understand. If a business is actually paying you $900 for their premium product, they are going to go out of business. Now you can argue American Express makes a bunch of money other ways, sure, but that is not sustainable. They require people to go ahead and pay full fare. Now, if you wanna be someone who's effectively getting paid $900 to hold onto the card, you have to get off your butt and do something. You have to play the game the way they lay it out. That's it. There's no and ifs or buts about it. I wish this card were as simple as the 2016 Chase Sapphire Reserve, right? Get your $300, call it a day, but it's not. And that's just going to be the nature of the game as we progress forward. And so be one of the people who takes advantage and who goes ahead and makes out like a bandit. In fact, this year, just by having the brand new Platinum, I'm effectively going to get paid about $1,300. That's, I don't know, it's actually kind of crazy and almost stupid to even say that because like, what do you mean a premium flagship card is going to pay you over $1,000 to use it? I don't know, that's just exactly how it works out. So don't sleep on it, go in, maximize the credits, make sure you get value from the credits first, of course, and if you do not sleep on it. Cool. All right, folks, well, these were the 13 most common mistakes that people are making with the American Express Platinum that are probably costing them hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars, but that you no longer will make. It's been a great video. Let me know if you have comments or questions down below. And as always, folks, if you're interested in those more elevated, non-public, all-time high offers for the Platinum going as high as $175,000 or the Gold that's going as high as $100,000, I should have some links in the description box down below. Go ahead and check them out. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.